Hi, welcome to VNN's newest episode in our discussion series with Ambassador Praveen Verma, right? And we
Hi.
always value your views, Praveen. I mean, you have a deep insight into what is happening in the diplomatic world in both India and, of course, abroad, where he has been ambassador in many countries. So today, I think we'll have a little deeper look into this Ukraine and Russia problem.
Yeah, it depends how deep you want to go and how deep one knows about it, because so many contradictory things are coming out,
Happening,
and
yes.
both countries are sort of putting claims against the others. And surprisingly, we have the Russians going to the Security Council saying that the Americans are planning a Bala bioweapon attack or something.
But apparently
They've
there
got a
is,
lab.
but
Yeah.
apparently there is a facility somewhere in eastern Ukraine. I don't know where exactly, but they say there is a facility, and the Undersecretary of State for I think Political Affairs and the U.S. government, she said we are worried whether these the samples will get into the hands of the Russians. So that means there was something, isn't it? Although Biden today, to our reporter's question, he said, "I do not want to speak about it." So let's see whether
Yeah,
what is the
because
truth of it.
if as you say, they have some labs, which
I
one
think,
can understand
yeah.
that Americans do have labs all over the world, trying to get into various areas and see different
But
scenarios.
but here, Praveen, I think every country does research in biological weapons, right?
Yes.
Not maybe weapons, but biological research, maybe for medical
Yeah,
or pharmaceutical
yeah.
research. I'm sure India has it.
Yes.
Pakistan does have it. They have admitted to it, and I
Yeah,
think US, UK, France. I
yeah.
think they all have this thing. So,
You can have an argument that why don't you own up and say that yes, this was a legitimate lab, and then we
the pharmaceutical research, possible.
and it was not geared for bioweapons and all that. But then this has given Russians some sort of a leeway to sort of a counteroffensive, because even if there is a lab, I don't think that any Americans were planning.
I
on
don't think
bio-
bioweapons they won't do it. I
or
don't think
no-
that's
no-
not.
nor the Russians.
Yeah,
Of
because
course, it's again which
it's a
we can
retaliatory thing later, you know.
talk
So
on and on. But
yeah.
this gives the Russians a weapon or an argument to sort of counter the Western propaganda,
Yeah.
one would say.
But I was reading the other day. It means the Vice President Kamala Harris said Russia is interested in, I think, setting up a puppet government in Kiev. Problem is in 2014, after the coup and the new government came in, I mean, the Russians say that is a puppet government. I mean, where is truth? Where is the truth? But another report has said that there are many of the Ukrainian government ministers and officials are American citizens.
Well, I
Because
heard that they're comedians. They're
yeah,
friends
yeah.
of Zelensky.
No, they are. Most of
and
them are
comedy
friends.
actors.
But they're all. Ukraine gives dual nationality,
Okay.
a good dual citizenship. So many of them came to Ukraine after 2014, and now they occupy positions in government. So we don't know how far that is true.
Whatever is the government, I think the government is doing a good job in protecting their country. That will have to
Yeah.
concede
Yeah,
that.
the resistance is there, but
and Zelensky has really done a very good job on whipping up the emotions.
how long can this last?
How long can this last? And secondly, but Russia also has not at any stage said that their intention is to occupy
Ukraine,
Ukraine.
country.
Their intention is basically a demilitarized Ukraine and a demilitarized Ukraine, which is not a member of NATO.
That Zelensky
is
said
that.
no, he doesn't want to be part of NATO.
And we're getting some these
Contradictory reports, yeah.
that Zelensky said that we don't want to become a member of NATO. We don't want to beg. We don't
Okay.
want to be seen as beggars. So there are things which show that there are common meeting points on both sides where they can discuss. And the fact that they are discussing means that they understand that there are some areas where they can go ahead. Of course, for occupying such a large country,
It's difficult.
it's difficult, especially when they are fully propped up by all the Western countries, including nowadays we understand that stories that Americans or other Western countries are propping up some mercenaries to go in over there.
Yeah, but then even I think Russia has also got mercenaries.
So Russia is also now saying this from Middle East he'll get some mercenaries.
Yeah, apparently Syrians and Libyans and Chechen, there are a lot of
So
mercenaries also getting
once
in.
these mercenaries come into play, then
The scenario changes, you know.
Scenario
Then
changes, and it does take some time. It's a big country, and to occupy that country entirely, it's something difficult. Even getting now, I understand they say that they've surrounded Kiev, but you see, there are civilians over there, and they say there are more than 5,000 civilians who have died, or 500 civilians. Some figure in five civilians have died in. Kiev itself, 500 something.
how?
So that becomes a very difficult proposition to sort of really bomb them. And
But
then
they have surrounded the city, so saying laying a siege to it,
siege to it, yes, but
maybe to starve the city into submission.
it,
If they block all the entry points.
yeah, I don't know. You can always airdrop, and then if you starve the city, the entire international opinion, whatever international opinion is favored in favor of Russia, will also go against it. You can't starve the Philips. And the humanitarian supplies are even today.
Or maybe
even today
continuous artillery bombardment and Kiev will have to surrender, isn't it?
well,
Because if there's casualties mount, what?
artillery bombardment for artillery bombardment on civilians is something which is. And I remember, if in India took so much of time to overcome the Pakistanis in Bangladesh.
Yeah,
even.
21 days or something?
Yeah, despite of the fact that there was a Mukti Bahini supporting us entirely,
Right.
and then we were using paratroopers, we were airdropping people right in the middle of the cities. And still, it took so much time. It takes time. I don't see such a quick result of capitulation of Ukraine, because of the way he has whipped up, and then the neighboring countries are also putting in some sort of arms and armament. Nobody is coming themselves, but they are really helping the people to.
I think the anti-tank weapons are helping the Ukrainians, because I think many of the armored carriers and tanks are being destroyed by anti-tank weapons. And I think javelin missiles.
Recent development is that the Chinese have sort of apparently put fully in the Russian camp and in totally.
Yes, they have. They have come out with statements saying, warning the West.
So I was reading something that could you imagine a scenario where India, Pakistan, China, and Russia in the same camp against the world, which is true. It seems like that.
Then I think the population-wise, that this bloc and economy-wise also this bloc will be very powerful if such a thing happens, isn't it? No, but I don't think that will happen. That can never happen.
No, that will never happen. But jokes apart, but China has, which was expected. Now, to what extent China will be able to exercise its influence on the international opinion?
But they have said that they will not impose any sanctions on Russia. And I think many Indian analysts have also said that this is not a UN sanctions, this is US engineered
US
sanctions.
yeah.
So I don't know if how will India be affected too?
India is already affected in the sense that the economy is going down. Rupee has fallen like anything.
But what about Russian gas and oil? Can India buy it?
It all depends upon the
government deciding swift payments.
Swift payments and all that, because
but I'm sure
India's main reliability on oil and gas supplies is the Middle East. So we are not totally dependent on them. So we are not really that much affected as Europe is.
But Germany has said they will not impose sanctions, energy sanctions.
Because if they'll be the worst sufferers.
And Hungary said no. So UK was smart. UK said we will stop buying Russian oil and gas from end of 2022. So I think they have given themselves 8 months. By the time the war will end,
Yes.
So they're playing smart.
But that was a good scene which Boris Johnson with Zelensky talking to the parliament on through satellites.
And I think now Trudeau is in Europe and he has spoken to Zelensky, and he's been asked to address the Canadian Parliament. So and he has accepted it. So maybe I think in a couple of days maybe he will hear him on our television now.
Yes.
That should be interesting.
That should be interesting. But that another interesting part is Trudeau touring that whole area as an emissary of
Yeah.
the entire North America.
And of course, he visited the Canadian troops in Latvia along with the defense minister. Okay, that's a good sign. At least he's showing some solidarity
Yeah,
there.
his visibility is
Yeah,
there,
that is true.
and the vote bank is there.
And he was sort of representing North America rather because
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Biden was not there. So
Biden has not been there at all.
yeah, there was a visibility factor. Yeah. That's what that
But,
is.
but Biden's son is there all the time, isn't it?
He was there.
No, in the sense that he's a businessman
In
who has
Ukraine,
in Ukraine. That's, you
and
remember,
Russia, yeah.
Trump was censured for that because he had asked Zelensky to sort of try to indict.
Oh, yeah, right.
You remember
His son,
the Trump
Biden's
days?
son.
I remember something that Biden's son was working over there.
Hunter
and,
Biden.
Yeah.
That's very interesting now.
Yeah, so the wheels within wheels.
What could be the end game now here? I mean, this shelling is going on there. I think a lot of casualties. I've seen the destruction on television.
That looks bad.
terrible. The buildings are all shattered. I mean, it will take so many years to rebuild that city. You know?
But
It's a beautiful city.
Today morning, I was seeing in the news, the Canadian news, a live shot of Ukraine center where you go. That pillar is there.
Yeah,
It looks totally clean and shining. It looks like
it's a
nothing
beautiful
has
city.
happened.
Beautiful city, but
It's shining. I mean, if you see that picture regularly, you don't realize that there's
a war going on.
and
Yeah.
the city is under siege.
But surrounding small towns have been almost destroyed. So.
And all these Mariupol and all these places, I don't know.
I mean, with 2 million refugees, obviously there is some. It's
It's $1 million question as to what is the end game, and people are all over the world are discussing what does Putin want, and
when will he stop?
when will he stop? He says that he is willing to stop. He is willing to discuss. The foreign ministers level discussions took place, but still nothing happened. I'm still waiting. I think ultimately, if he has to stop the war, he has also to see that he survives after that in terms of international condemnation and all that. So that would be a major bargaining chip as far as he is concerned. Because
I don't know how
the
will
West will be wildly after him.
Yes.
If even after the ceasefire or even after concessions they gave, or even after
There'll be call for war crimes trials and what else?
something
What,
like
I
that.
don't know what else.
It-
And
it-
that'll make Putin angrier.
yeah.
I mean, he'll be like a cornered animal.
फिर और गड़बड़ होएगा.
Then what happens then? We can't. Nobody can read his mind.
So the sort of the most optimistic scenario is that there is a ceasefire, is demilitarized, and if there is a commitment and an undertaking by the Western powers that Ukraine will not become a member of NATO.
And then, of course, those two republics like Donetsk and that other one, he will want them to be independent republics.
That even I think Zelensky has said that he's willing to forego those.
And Crimea is willing to forego. So I think why is he continuing with the war then?
No,
he wants a commitment.
Both sides have to agree to that. Both sides have to agree to that, and that agreement will also mean that there will be no persecution of by the West on various United Nations, various international organizations on Putin's action, because he has overstepped his limit. Anybody can see that. We were talking 3 discussions ago that he will not go for war.
Yeah, but that happens.
Now we really don't know what's happened. Then this Chernobyl scare, it keeps on coming and going. 2 days ago there was a scare that they stopped the electrical supply of the Bala power plant. Now the point is that if you stop the electrical supply, the cooling does not work, and if the cooling does not work, there will be some leakage, etc. So
the thing now, Russians can't eat McDonald's burgers because they have closed down. So what happens now? There will be some other Russian and Chinese burgers will have to get into Russia, isn't it?
yeah, many Indian chains will have the chicken burgers.
Indian chicken burger. Indian companies will start there. I'm sure there will be people waiting for these opportunities. Okay, no McDonald's, no Starbucks, fine. So there, come on, let us go into the market.
Yeah, and Thumbs Up and all the
Coca-Cola is gone. So
everything is gone. All the multinational brands are.
there will be other cola companies getting in.
Huh?
Other cola companies will get into the market, isn't
that's
it?
what a Thumbs Up from India.
So, I mean, will Putin allow these companies to come back in Russia? if the war ends.
I'm sure.
He'll say, okay, you
I'm
went
sure
once you went away.
business is much more important than.
That's true.
So ultimately, if there is more people coming and putting in more money, as it is, he says that he's confiscating their assets over there.
Yeah, that's true.
So that those assets he can use for his own purposes.
Yeah, let's hope the war ends quickly. This
Yes,
is getting too much.
that's-
Coming to India. Now,
Coming to India, yes.
the
Punjab.
Punjab and of course UP with a big prize for the Narendra Modi
I don't
government.
know. Yeah, as you see, it's a great achievement for BJP on one side and AAP on another
Yeah.
side. These two great things which bring the future of Indian politics into perspective. One thing is there that now BJP would be fairly confident that the effect of farmers' agitation
That's gone.
and this pandemic and all these things and these two cases which had come up, that minister running up, nothing had affected their status. Nobody expected that they'll get more than 300 seats.
Yeah.
But getting these much
273
I thought
seats,
they'll
yeah.
pass the majority.
But this is something.
They did
273
something,
seats
yes.
in a
And
good.
they've mopped up all the BSP votes.
Yes.
Yeah. Surprisingly,
BSP got one vote, one seat.
one seat.
Congress
Yeah.
decimated, wiped out.
Samajwadi Party mopped up the Congress seats.
Yes, that's true. That's what happened.
And you see, one was thinking that the Dalit votes, because of the new party which had come in, which had split out from BJP,
Yeah.
they would take away the vote.
They
but
didn't, they
no.
didn't.
And as a matter of fact, BJP has got more seats in the Dalit belt as well as the Western UP.
So I mean, the
Where-
caste divisions and all did not matter at all. So that way, I think BJP did a good thing. All the caste,
I
the
think
voting was not on
I
caste
think
base.
The ground performance of Yogi Adityanath or sort of streamline. First of all, law and order. The Gundagardi.
All stopped. He has shot and killed many people anyway.
And this direct access of all the welfare measures coming through Aadhaar card, etc. Things reach to the people.
And of course, roads like expressways and the sort of
Fadnavis is
visible
yeah,
development.
visibility. So development does affect your vote pattern, and that the BJP will cash upon. And they are now very, very upbeat about the next election session.
And Yogi, he's still dynamic. He's very young, and that's the thing.
Now
So
he's in the leadership line, and
Yeah.
one can expect him to become a prime minister once the bigger ones have faded out. Because as it is, age is on his side, so
Yeah.
there's nothing he can cry about. Second thing is again on the other side of the spectrum, you see AAP. AAP doing so well. One expected AAP to come in majority.
yeah, but this is massive majority.
Massive and
Same thing happened in Delhi. Remember that they out of 70 seats, they got 67 seats, which is incredible. Never happened before.
yeah. So here again, he's mopped up the Congress seats.
Yeah, entire Congress.
Entire Congress seats. Plus, of
Also,
course,
so
people are disillusioned by
Congress is gone from India. I was I think very low presence now. I have a feeling what's happened is the BJP has taken over the entire mind space of the people.
Quite true, because of the neo-nationalism which they have created, and
Two
of course,
things. Two things. One, they have nationalism card, the religion card, which is they play very subtly. It's not very open, but
yes.
both religion and nationalism becomes such a powerful combination that who can fight it?
Yeah. And
Nobody can go against nationalism. Nobody can go against the religion. So they
he's
occupy.
getting all the vote, the caste and the religion is just going off, and people are voting him for the performance and the new schemes, and which will give him encouragement to sort of do some more things which would tend to be controversial, like the uniform civil code and all that. Now he has got time to and
I think this UP victory will get him more seats in the Rajya Sabha too.
Yes, of
So
course.
that'll
more seats in but then
assemblies.
it's less than what they had earlier, so I think that will not affect that. The calculation is very weird, but then they had more than 300, now they have 280, so I think that would affect. It won't increase apparently. AAP might get more Rajya Sabha seats.
Yeah, they'll get more.
But AAP, you see, now they are looking at Gujarat elections.
Yeah.
That will be there.
Maybe that's why Modi started his campaign yesterday.
Yes, Modi has to be very careful about that. And
I think
Gujaratis are not Punjabis.
no, but it will depend a lot on how Kejriwal does in Punjab.
In the
Because
first few months, when there's
first
so
few
many
months, yeah, we'll
promises
know.
for doing the, his mantra is
Freebies.
Freebies. Mantra is
How
freebies.
long can that work? Where's
But
the money
again,
coming?
apart from, let us be fair to him, an honest government.
Yeah.
The government
It's
is
no corruption free.
corruption. I don't think they're there, and they are young, intelligent people running the whole establishment, who know what is to be done and what not to be done. Not
It's a
not,
money.
The Sidhus and Chunnis are gone.
Ultimately, will he have the money to keep his promises? That's the problem. Of course, he can blame Modi for
But then,
that too.
do you realize that AAP is also getting a lot of funding from NRIs?
Yeah,
The
that's true.
people who are disillusioned, who have
Canada also, there's a big
Canada
following here.
also,
Big
yes,
following
people
here.
who think that India needs a clean government and a welfare government, and there is a charity and a political contribution mentality in
but in
these
that way,
countries.
even the CPM or the BJP, they are also mainly corruption free. We don't hear much.
Yeah, BJP is there. You see,
The higher echelons
point
rather.
is the BJP at present has no opposition.
Yeah.
The only party which could have sort of taken opposition around it and sort of congealed one united mass was Congress.
Oh, that's
So
God.
Modi was very smart enough to decimate Congress first.
That's why
so
he's Congress Mukt Bharat. That's the main
there
thing.
is no nucleus on which others can crystallize.
Right.
Now you got AAP which can do that function in some way.
No, I don't know if
because in
the
Goa,
DM
Goa they've got seats also.
Yeah, but
they've
then-
got stray seats in different places.
But then there's a TMC factor, there's a DMK, there's Uddhav
nobody-
Thackeray. I mean, there are so many other regional leaders who all want to
Yeah.
come on the national plane, so
Mamta did try to do it.
it didn't work.
It didn't work because at that time Congress said that if it want to work, we have to be the fulcrum.
And I don't think Kejriwal will be accepted in Maharashtra or in Tamil Nadu. No, I don't think
Kejriwal will
so.
not be accepted anywhere.
Yeah, that is the problem.
His temperament is again a
Yeah.
bit volatile.
Anyway, let us see what happens now. The next few months will be very interesting in India.
Yes, till the Gujarat election.
Yeah, till
It will be
when
very
that's in
interesting.
23, I
And
think. Yeah.
then when one will have to see how AAP is performing
And then we'll
in Punjab. How many freebies are actually materializing because he has to show what is to be done. UP, of course, will carry on. Adityanath was there, he continues and he will carry on. And the only thing is he has to sort of put all these criminals back into jail.
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen.
They had, maybe the UP gambit succeeded, but the Punjab gambit of releasing that Ram
Rahim,
Rahim,
Haryana.
I
Yeah,
think-
that's
I think that will
anyway.
work.
So anyway, thanks a lot, Praveen. So that was an interesting discussion on Indian politics and, of course, the ongoing Ukraine-Russian crisis. We'll meet again next Friday, next week, another session. Thanks for watching the session of the discussion series.
Thank you very much.